Listen to me closely because I'm going to tell you something that is going to make you uncomfortable. It might even make you angry, but I don't care about your feelings. I care about your money. You are being lied to. The entire automotive industry, the banks, the marketing agencies, they have convinced you that the ultimate symbol of success is a shiny new car in your driveway. They tell you you've made it when you sign that lease or take out that loan. I'm here to tell you that is absolute garbage. It is a lie designed to keep you poor. I've made hundreds of millions of dollars. I sold my company for $4.2 billion. I sit in the Shark Tank and evaluate businesses every single day. And I can tell you right now that buying a car is the single stupidest thing you can do with your money. It is wealth suicide. If you want to be rich, if you want freedom, you need to stop acting like a steer in the herd. I'm going to show you exactly why you're broke, and it's sitting in your garage right now. Here's the problem as I see it. You work hard, you have a job or maybe a side hustle, you scrape together some capital, let's say $30,000 or $40,000, or worse, you go into debt. And what do? You go down to the dealership and you buy a depreciating asset that loses 20% of its value the second you drive it off the lot. It drives me crazy. I see young people 25 or 30 years old driving around in 60 counts. They have no cash flow. They have no soldiers fighting for them. They just have a piece of metal Discover, more productivity software, side-by-side player, multilingual transcript service that is rotting away, costing them insurance, maintenance, and gas. When I was building my software company in the basement, long before the billions, long before the fame, I couldn't justify the expense. Every dollar I had was capital for the business. I took the subway. I walked. Why? Because I understood the value of a dollar. I treat money with respect. If you take $50,000 and put it into a car, you are essentially taking 50,000 of your soldiers, your little green soldiers whose only job is to capture more soldiers, and you are sending them to the slaughterhouse. You are killing them. I want to teach you how to stop the bleeding. I want to show you the math that the car dealers don't want you to see. I'm going to show you how I structure my life so that I drive the best cars in the world without losing a dime of my principal. But first, you have to make a choice. Do you want to look rich or do you want to be rich? Because you can't do both if you're making this mistake. Before I continue, if you want more of my no-nonsense financial advice, hit that subscribe button right now. I share my real-world strategies for building wealth every single week. Don't miss out. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Trust me, this information could be worth millions to you. Now, let's get back to it. Here's what I want you to understand about the physics of money. There are assets that appreciate, they go up in value, and there are assets that depreciate, they go down. Real estate generally goes up. Good stocks generally go up. Fine wine watches, if you know what you're doing, they go up. Cars, they go down, always. When you buy a new car for $50,000, the moment the rear wheels cross the curb, leaving the dealership, you've lost $10,000. Poof, gone, vaporized. You haven't even driven it home yet, and you've lost more money than most people save in a year. Why would you ever invest in something that is guaranteed to lose money? If I pitched you a business on Shark Tank and said, Kevin, give me $100,000, and in 3 years, I guarantee you it'll be worth $40,000, I would throw you out of the tank. I would forbid you from ever doing business again. It's madness. Yet you do this every 3 to 5 years. You trade in one losing asset for another losing asset, rolling over debt, digging the hole deeper. I've looked at the portfolio of thousands of people. The ones who are struggling in their 40s and 50s are almost always the ones who spent their 20s and 30s making payments on cars they couldn't afford. It's a cancer on your net worth. It eats away at your ability to compound wealth. Let me be brutally honest with you. Unless you are a collector buying a vintage 1955 Mercedes 300L Going that sits in a climate-controlled garage and appreciates, a car is not an investment. It is a utility. It is a tool to get from point A to point B. And you should pay the absolute minimum for that utility. If you are paying $800 a month for a car payment and you aren't maxing out your 401k, you are failing. You are failing your future family. Stop the madness. Now, let me tell you something even more important. It's not just about the money you lose on the car. It's about the money you didn't make. This is called opportunity cost, and it is the secret weapon of the wealthy. Let's play a game. Let's say you're 25 years old. You have $30,000 saved up. You really want that new electric car or that German sedan. You buy it. 5 years later, that car is worth maybe $12,000. You spent money on gas, insurance, repairs. You're down significantly. Now, let's look at the Kevin Ollie way. You take that same $30,000, you put it into a diversified portfolio of dividend-paying stocks, high-quality companies with balance sheets that I respect. Let's say you get an average return of 78% a year, plus you reinvest the dividends. You know what that $30,000 turns into by the time you retire without adding another penny? It becomes hundreds of thousands of dollars. That one decision to buy a car cost you $500,000 in retirement money. Is that leather seat worth $500,000 to you? Is looking cool at the stoplight worth your financial freedom? I've made millions by understanding the time value of money. Money loves time. If you kill your capital early by dumping it into sheet metal, you are killing the seed corn. You are eating the seeds before they can grow into the forest. When I sold the learning company, I didn't run out and buy a fleet of Ferraris immediately. I took that capital and I put it to work. I created an army of dollars that fight for me while I sleep. You need to shift your mindset. When you see a $50,000 car, don't see a car. See $50,000 of potential capital that could be paying you dividends for the rest of your life. Every time you make a car payment, you are robbing your future self. You're probably thinking, but Kevin, I need a car. I can't walk to work. And fair enough, in many places, you need transportation. But here is the rule. Here is exactly what you need to do. First, if you have a net worth under $100,000, you have no business buying a new car. None. You buy a used, reliable car for cash, something that has already taken the depreciation hit. Let some other sucker pay for that first 40% drop in value. You pick it up cheap, you drive it until the wheels fall off, and you invest the difference. But let's say you're further along, you're making good money. You have a business, you want to drive something nice. Here's my rule: never own the metal. I lease my cars. Why? Because I want the manufacturer to take the risk on the depreciation. I don't want that asset on my balance sheet. I want to pay for the use of the car, not the car itself. And here's the caveat: I only do this because I can write it off as a business expense. If you are an employee and you can't deduct lease, this math gets much harder for you. But generally speaking, why would you want to own something that is guaranteed to go to zero? It makes no sense. And frankly, in today's world, do you even need a car? I use Uber, I use car services. When I'm in a city, I don't want to worry about parking. I don't want to worry about insurance. I don't want to worry about scratches. I get in, I work on my phone, I make money while I'm moving, I get out. If you calculate the cost of ownership, gas, insurance, parking tickets, maintenance, depreciation versus just taking an Uber when you need one, often the Uber is cheaper and you gain back your time. If you are driving, you aren't working. If I'm in the back of a car, I'm doing deals, I'm making money. My time is worth thousands of dollars an hour. Why would I spend it staring at a bumper in traffic? Think about the utility. Do not get emotional about metal. It doesn't love you back. I want to go deeper on this because this is the fundamental philosophy that separates the winners from the losers. I view money as my soldiers. Every morning I send them out to war. I want them to take prisoners and come back home. I want more soldiers. When you buy a car, you are burying your soldiers in a grave. They can't fight for you. They can't reproduce. Here's what I do instead. I look for cash flow. Cash flow is king. You have heard me say it 1,000 times because it is the truth. I want assets that pay me. I love dividends. I love interest. I love royalties. If you have $50,000 burning a hole in your pocket, don't go to the BMW dealership. Go open a brokerage account. Buy an ETF that tracks the S&P 500 QA. Buy a REIT, real estate investment trust. Buy something that sends you a check every quarter. Imagine this. You take that money, you invest it, and it pays you $2,000 or $3,000 a year in dividends forever. You can use that dividend money to pay for your Hoovers. You keep the principal grows, and the income pays for your lifestyle. That is how the rich get richer. We don't spend our principal, we spend the income generated by our principal. Most of you are eating your principal. You are taking the golden goose and you are cooking it for dinner because you want to impress your neighbors. Let me tell you something about your neighbors. They don't care about you. They are too busy worrying about their own debt. You're going broke trying to impress people who aren't even watching. On Shark Tank, I always look for this one thing in an entrepreneur. Do they understand the value of a dollar? If an entrepreneur rolls up in a brand new Porsche, but their business is losing money, I'm out immediately because it shows me they have bad judgment. It shows me they prioritize ego over cash flow. I'd rather invest in the guy driving a 10-year-old Honda Civic who is reinvesting every single dime back into his inventory. That's a winner. That's someone who gets it. So what are you going to do? Are you going to keep making the car companies rich, or are you going to make yourself rich? Here are your action steps. I want you to do this today. Audit your driveway. If you have a car that is worth more than 50% of your annual income, sell it. Get rid of it. It is an anchor around your neck. Downgrade. Buy a used, reliable vehicle for cash. No payments. If you have a car payment, you are a slave to the bank. I want you to be free. Invest the payment. Take that $500 or $800 a month you were spending on that car loan and set up an automatic transfer to an investment account. My broad market index funds. Wait, do this for 10 years. If you follow this advice, you will have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank. You will have options. You will have freedom. If you ignore this, if you keep leasing cars, you can't afford to impress girls or guys who don't care. You will wake up at 60 years old with a nice car in the driveway and cat food in the pantry. It's harsh, but it's the truth. Let me summarize what I just taught you. Cars are wealth destroyers. They are the enemy of financial independence. I didn't become Mr. Wonderful by throwing my money away on rusting metal. I became Mr. Wonderful by respecting capital, by seeking yield, and by demanding a return on every single dollar I deployed. You have a choice. You can look rich now, or you can actually be rich later. You can do both. The goal is financial freedom. The goal is to wake up in the morning and do whatever you want because your money is working harder than you are. You will never get there if you are signing 72-month car loans at 8% interest. Don't be a sucker. Be a shark. If this video woke you up, good. That was the point. Now do something about it. Subscribe to this channel if you want to learn how to actually build wealth. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to make you rich. Leave a comment below. Tell me what you're driving and tell me if you're brave enough to sell it. Money loves speed. Take action today. I'm Kevin O'Leary. Thanks for watching.